like a Hellcat.
Hello guys, let's start Python from scratch. Our first topic is indexing and slicing with a string. So let's create a variable of name my string. Okay, what are variables? Mainly the question arises for beginners is what is variable? Variables are something that you will store a value inside that name. So for I'm storing the string A B C D E F G H I J. Okay, so therefore I am using a Visual Studio, therefore I have to write condition this if name equals to main then I have to execute that particular file. Therefore I am printing my string. One second, what happened? Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect. So for what I am doing is I am assigning A B C D E F G H I J in my string variable. So if this condition happens, what is this condition? Therefore, as I am running this, if my name is equals to this python basic.py, if I am running this file, then it will print this my string. Therefore, let's run it. Yeah, it's printed. See, you can see. Now let's check further. Print. I want to print a fourth number. So what I have to write is print my string and then 4. So let's check if it's working or not. Yeah, it's working. See, you had printed successfully printed it's printed a fourth number because here it starts with 0 1 2 3 and 4th, so it will print index number 4. So if you want to print a fourth position, then you have to write here is 3. So let's start. Yeah, see, I have printed a fourth position. So now what is the slicing? Therefore I want to slice from a second index to a whole part, like till a j. So what I have to write is print and then my string, and then therefore I want to slice from a 2 and then till the end. Therefore what it will print is, see, it will start from the C, means index number 2, and then till the last position. It now, therefore I wanted to index from 2 to 4. So what I have to write is print my string, and I have to print is it 2 to 4. So let's check it. Yeah, see, you can see from 2 to 4 it is been printed. So for next method is print my string. I wanted to every 3, like see this way, these 3 elements, then these 3 elements, like this. What it works. What happened just now? Yeah, see, ADGJ. You will write like A, then 3 position left, D, then 2, G, and then J. Every 3 positions it will count, and every 3 index, difference of a 3 index, it will print the number. So for A, after 3 index there will be D, then after 3 index there will be G, and after 3 index there will be J, like this. And if you want to reverse a string, then what you have to write is print my string and then you have to write inside square braces -1 like this. So let's see what happens. See, we have printed a string which is mirror image of that. Yeah, it's perfect. See, now if you are working with C++ and that all things, then you have to write a bit of code, and you are string, you are like, what you can tell is you have to write many code. Yeah, you have to write many lines of code. It is in Python. Just write a one line of code and you can get a directly code. This is why the most of the people prefers a Python nowadays. Okay, so our second topic is string properties and method. Therefore, I am assigning a name. I am assigning a value to a name. Therefore, I am writing a Sam. Yeah. Okay. Now what I'm doing is, as we had seen earlier, I'm printing print and name 1. So as you know what it will print, AM, right? AM. Now what's next is I'm assigning this name 1, as I had written this, to a last name. So for name equals to name and 1. What it will print is same last name, because I had given that value to the last name, so there will be no difference. Let's see, yeah, AM. Now as I printed a last name, it will print AM. So if I want to concatenate this string last name plus, I'm writing snake, and I'm giving here as a name 1 equals to this. What it will print, it will concatenate. So name 1. Let's check. It will concatenate. See, I'm snare. So it will concatenate means it will add this string name 1 plus this string as snare. So therefore I want addition of two string. Like I'm writing an integer 1 equals to 2. As it is string, it will not add. I'm giving you an example. So for integer 2, it is 3. So if we add integer 1 plus integer 1 plus integer 2, it will not add. It will simply concatenate, and it will give output as a 23. If we want addition, then we will have to write like this. Now it will print as 5. See, now there are various methods for this. Now yeah, there is one more method. Name is letter. So for I'm assigning a letter equals to z, and I'm printing letter into 10. Therefore letter and letter into 2 10. So it will happen is it will print a z 10 times. As I had already told, it has many more characteristics. So I can split here, I can also split here. Therefore I'm writing is hello snare. What will happen is, let's check, letter dot split. Yeah, see, it is in the form of error. In the form of error, what it will write is hello and snare. This is the method used for converting a sentence into the errors. Now there are way more methods like I want is in upper. I want in uppercase, all the letters in uppercase. So upper, see, yeah. Now I want all the letters in lowercase. So lower, yeah, upper, lower, and these all things. Now as this is over, let's dive it up in third topic, print formatting with string. There are three methods for this: dot format method, f method, and percentage s method. So let's see first method of dot format method. So I'm printing so for this is I want to insert here in between this string. So for dot format, inside which I'm writing a inserted, and let's check. Yeah, see, I had successfully inserted this into this wall string. So this is a method how you can insert between. So let's check here, print, and I'm inserting a 3 string. So sorry, 2 string. The so for this first, this second, this third. So dot format, and I'm writing is Fox, Brown, and Quick. Yeah, Fox, comma, Brown. Sorry. Yeah, Brown and Quick. So let's check. It will print like the Fox, Brown, Quick. So let's run it. The Fox, Brown, Quick. Now, therefore, I don't want this position here. I first want the Brown, Quick, and then Fox. So what I have to write is Control C, Control V. I will simply pass here the index. So what first I wanted is the brown. So 1, then 2, and then 0. So let's see. Yeah, the Brown, Quick, Fox. So for you can do also like this by giving a name. So for I'm writing here B, then I'm writing here Q, I'm writing here F. So for here you will write F equals to this, B equals to this, and Q equals to this. See, it's once again it will print a Brown, Quick, Fox. So let's move to second method is F. Let's check it. Print. Let's say syntax is this way. So I'm writing I am, and writing here is snake. So let's check. Oh, it's giving me error. So why it's giving me error? Because I had not done a comma here. See, I'm snap like this. uh, yeah, it's more busy, it's more easy. You can use this format for inserting. Basically I recommended this format for inserting the strings. And this and then now moves to a third method. Now let's move on to the third method. So print, I'm writing say for I am going to inject, yeah, I am going to inject, and then percentage s like this, and then here. Okay, so now what we are doing is simply writing here a percentage, and then I'm injecting, like suppose I want something like this. Let's check it work or not. See, I'm going to inject something here, it will inject in between here. So basically these are the three methods for inserting inside a strings.
Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Okay, now we have successfully completed strings in Python. Now next topic is list in Python. It is the type of array, but there is a slight difference in between array and list. List holds the variable of any data types, whereas in array we can hold only the list of same data types. What are data types? Data types are like I'm writing in C++ is int, and then I'm assigning int, and then I'm writing a name. So for int name equals to 1. So it basically categorizes that I am storing the integer in that variable. So for I had assigned a string, then the data type will be string, like this. These are the data types. Well, so let's start with the example. How can we form a list? So for my list equals to, I am writing a 1 comma 2 comma 3, and I'm writing another list. So for my, these are the list example. My list 1 equals to, I'm writing a string, then I'm storing a 2, and then I'm storing a 3. So for I'm printing it on my list, and then print, I'm printing my list 1. Let's check. See it here, it successfully printed a list, and I have stored here of a different data type, you can see as well. Now what's another is, therefore I want some indexing and that all things. So my list, and then I'm writing here is 1. Sorry, don't have to write here, I have to write here. And now let's check what happens. See, so it started from the index 1 and ended from the last index. This is how we can perform indexing and slicing. Now let's concat two lists. So my list 2 equals to my list equals, sorry, 1 second, 2 equals to my list plus my list 1, and I'm printing. Here is my list 2. Let's get rid of this. So let's see, here it is successfully concatenated. Okay, so we can concatenate 2 lists by this method simply by adding, simply by addition operator. Okay, so I can append the more things in this list. So for I want to append my name in the my list 2. So what we have to write is my list 2 dot append. I want to append, so for my name is snap, like this. Let's check. Yeah, it's successfully appended. I had successfully appended. So for now I have to remove some elements. So there comes a method name is pop. So my list and then 2 dot. See, these are the method we can do perform here. You can check one by one every method what I can do. I'm only performing useful methods. Okay, so for I'm list and let's check. See anything? Yeah, last element, my last element is popped off. So for I have to pop, or I want to print this, which element is popped. So print, so basically which element is removed. So let's see. So as firstly we have removed this element snap. Now as I had done second time, so it will remove the last second element, means I removed first element snap, then it will remove a 3. So it will printed 3, I removed a third element. So if I print now what is my list, so for what is my list now, then it will print 1 2 3 string and 2. See, 1 2 3 string and 2. So for I want to pop off the element from any position, like I get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so for I want to pop off the index 3rd position. So let's check. Let's see what is the 3rd position is string, and it is successfully popped off. Now let's check what my lists look like. My and list 2. See, here in the list string is being removed, it is being popped off. These are the main 2 methods that you will learn. Okay, and now so for I want to sort a method, sort element. So how can I do is, how can I sort the elements? So for there's a special method called dot sort, comma 4, and I'm sorting the elements. My list, where is my list 2? Yeah, dot sort. I want to print a sorted element, so what I have to do is Control V and this. Let's check. 1 second, what happened? My list 2 dot sort none. There is something problem in this. My list 2 dot sort. Therefore, what I can do now? Relax. I'm assigning it to, let's check this, and X. Sorry. Yeah. I forgot one thing. See, I had sorted. Now what it does, this method doesn't return anything. It basically sorts every element in the my list 2. So what I have to print next is my list 2. So my list 2. So if now it will be sorted. See, let's check. See, it will be sorted 1 2 2 3 3 4. basically what what the beginners do mistake is they will assign in something. So for I'm assigning it to x, as this element doesn't return anything. So if it does not return anything, then how can we assign it to any variable? Therefore it will give a error. See, let's check what is giving a error. See, none. It will giving a error. It will give a error none. So here our list topic is completed.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
Hello guys, in this video you will learn about dictionaries and tuples. Let's discuss about the difference between dictionaries and lists. So in list we can sort the elements, but whereas in dictionaries we cannot sort the elements. Now objects are retrieved by the keywords, whereas in the list it is retrieved by their location. Now what I mean is I will give you an example and explain to you. Okay, so if I'm writing the conditions for if name equals to main, then I want to print something. So print something over. Now how are dictionaries, right? Dictionaries are wrapped in the curly braces. So I'm assigning my dictionary. So for my dictionary equals to, it is in the format like these are the keys and key 1, and this equals to value 1, like this. Now comma, it is key key 2, and whereas this is value 2. Okay, this is my dictionary. This will be wrapped inside a curly braces, and whereas if you want to access any values, then you can access it by keys. So for I want to access, so for I'm printing right now, so my dictionary, let's print. See, here it is printed, my dictionary. Now I want to print value 1. So what I have to do is just write like key 1. I can access this value using this key. Alright, see, I'd accessed the value 1. Like this you can write I'm buying an apple of $2.99. So I'm writing an apple which is of $2.99. I'm writing a banana, bought a banana, banana of $1.99. Sorry. Yeah. See, now if I want to access, like I want to say for what's the price of apple, then what I have to do is just write a apple in between, apple. Now I can see the apple price is $2.99. So for now what I have to do is I don't want this price. Now so for after 1 week the price is changed. So what I have to do is reassign it. So my dictionary, and I'm reassigning a banana value with equals to, say, for $3. Let's check. Sorry, I have to check for banana. See, here I have reassigned it. This way you can reassign. Now, so for I want a dictionary, and inside the dictionary I am storing some kind of list. Yeah, like value 1, value 2, value 3, like that. Then how can I access the member of the list, the particular member of the list? So for this I am writing a key 1. I am writing here is 1. I'm writing here a key 2, and here I'm creating a list of 1, of 2, 3, 4. So for I want to access this element, first index element, or then what I have to do is write a key 2. So key 2, and inside which I have to access is index 1 element. So just write 1, index 1, like this. See, here it is printed or element which is on index 2. Now let's go. These are the method of these are the various methods of dictionaries, where you can assign a value, you can override a value, many things. Okay, now say for now I have to print a keys. So there is a method named dot key. So my dictionary dot keys, sorry, yeah. So for, see, these are the keys. A dictionary keys, key 1 and key 2. These are the keys, and if you want to print the values, then what are the total, print all the values from the dictionaries. Then you will print all the values in the dictionaries, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Well, let's talk about this topic is over now, and our second topic is tuples. So let's talk about the tuples. So for my tuple, yeah, my tuple will be equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Now let's print my tuple first. My tuple. See, I printed 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah. So for what's the difference between the list and tuples? Yeah, the beginners do mistake is list is wrapped in the square braces, and these are wrapped into this type of braces. So make sure you are working, don't confuse when working with a list and tuples. It has only of two types. It has only of two methods. You can perform only two methods in tuples. One is dot count and dot index. So for my tuples, dot count, inside which I am passing a element, means I want to count that how many times this element appears. Therefore I'm writing here 2 and I'm passing 2 here. Let's check how many times this element appears in my tuple. So this is 2 times, and here is also 2 times. So, and the second is index. For index I want an index of 4. So this element is 4. I want the index on of the 4 which has an element value 4. So let's see, this is the index. So the in tuples the element 4, where it consists, is on the third position, means on the third index. 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So these are the basic fundamental things that you should have to learn and you should learn. So our dictionaries and tuples topic are over. Hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video, you will learn about sets and booleans. So basically, what are sets? Sets are unordered collection of unique elements. There are only be one representative of the same object. Therefore, how are sets written? Let's create a variable of my set equals to, what I'm writing is set, and like this. This is how we define a set. Now I'm adding something here. I'm printing is my set, and what it will print is a empty set. So for Control X and Control V, what it will print is empty set. Now so for in the set I'm adding one and adding a element. So for I'm adding 1. So my set, and I am adding our element say for 1. So what it will print is 1. See. Now so for I'm adding a 2. So my set dot add, and I'm adding a 2. What it will print is 1, 2. It will frequently add, keep on adding. So for I'm repeating element 2 dot add. What it will happen? It will not count, because as I had already added that element, that particular element I had added already in the set, so it will not count. It will still be 1, 2. Now therefore what I am doing is I'm writing a list. My list. How are list written? It is written in the square braces. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, and anything you can write like this. Okay, so inside what we will pass is my list. Let's get rid of this. Let's see. It will print a unique elements. It will not repeat the elements. This is the advantage of the set. Now let's go on to another topic, which is boolean. What is boolean? Boolean is basically true or false. If the condition exists, then true. If condition not exists, then false. See, if 2 is greater than 3, what do you think? It is false, right? Then what it will print is false. So for this, it will be like this. Then what it will print is, it will print true. Now so for, if you had made a mistake in true or false, true. So for true, then let's run. It will not give any error. See, and if I made a mistake that instead of capital T I had used small t, then what it will give? A name error. True is not defined. So for like the same as false, what it will not give error. See, it will not give error. If you make mistake in writing, then it will give error. So these are the basic terms and conditions that you should learn in this topic, sets and booleans.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video, you will learn about accessing files, reading it, writing it, and how to append a new file. So let's start. So for I'm writing a my file equals to I firstly created a file named snare.txt in this folder itself. So I don't have to give a path. I have to give a path. So what I have to write is just open and write inside a file name, say for snare.txt. And if you have not saved your .txt file in the same folder, then just pass a whole path in between the quotes. So if now you want to read this file, what I wrote in this file, then what you have to do is just write my file dot read, and this where you can read my name is Sneh and I am a programmer. Now see, if you print once again, then it will print a blank space. See why it happens? Because as first the cursor is here, and once you are printed it will be here. Now again you are printing, then there will be there is nothing to print. Yeah, you can say that there is nothing to print. So what you have to do is firstly place your cursor to the start position. How can we do that? Then you just have to write my file and dot seek. I want to place a cursor at the 0th position. Now see, you can see instead of the blank, it will be printed my name is Sneh and I am a programmer. Now there is a new method. There you don't have to seek the file and nothing you have to do. You don't have to even close the file. Here I have to close the file. My file dot close, like this. You don't have to worry about anything. So what I have to do is just that's a syntax like with then I have to open that file. What? snare.txt like this, sorry, yeah, and I'm writing a mode as a read. So I want to read the file. Mode equals to R, like this. And as what, let's give a name, any name, say for F. Yeah, now you can read this file like I want to print and so for what I can do, let's assign a variable. Yeah, that is the nice. So for content equals to one second, did I forget something or no? Yeah, content equals to what I have to write is my file. So for F, I had assigned it as F. So what I have to do is F dot read, and I have to print this content. So what happened is print and the content. To print this content, let's check. See, my name is Sneh and I am a programmer. Now therefore you have to append something, like you have to add hi I am cool. Yeah, you can say this. I have to add here. So what you have to do is just write a mode as a append. It is mode as append, you can say as a, and I have to write something. So what I have to write is F dot write, and I want to write is I am cool, like this. Now if you want to read the file, then you have to first read it. So what you have to do is first read it. So with open, and then here write a W. No, sorry, W not, you have to read it. So there will be a R, mode R as F, and I want to read this, therefore I'm writing here as a read, and here I'm placing blank, therefore I'm writing content equals to f dot read. Now what it will print is my name is Sneh and I am a programmer, and it will add after this, hi, I am cool. See, like this. My name is Sneh and I am a programmer. Hi, I am cool. If I run once again, then what it will do is it will print again, hi, I am cool. Okay, so there is a write mode. You can also write something in this. Therefore, if there's a no, if file doesn't exist, therefore you are writing a file in a mode W, and therefore there is a snap1, and their file doesn't exist of snap1.txt in that folder, then in that condition what it will happen is it will make on file and write hi, I am cool. Let's check. See, there's a file been created. Let's check with reading. Yeah, which is the control C. See, here is the file. It created automatically. It had created the file of names name1.txt automatically. So this way you can play with files, creating the files and reading the files, and you can do many things using Python. So how
like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
Okay, in this video you will learn about comparison operators and if-else, elif loops. So what are chaining operators, chaining comparison operators, and or and not. Okay, so say for if something is equal, like 2 equals to 2, this, if these both numbers are equal, then it will print a true. So let's print out, print, and see. Now if we are printing like it is not equals to, then what it will print is false. See, false. Now let's start. Now if you are writing any condition, then how will you write is 1, 2 and 3. What it will be? Yeah, it will be true. So let's check, print, and see, it will return true. What's the another way of writing is like print, I'm printing 1 is smaller than 2 and 2 is smaller than 3. It will also print the same. See, now as checking like a print not, and 400 is greater than 5000. So what it will print? Let's check. It will print true. Why? Because it is, as we had written a not, which means it is not true, which means the 5000 is greater. The opposite will be, what is the opposite of this is this. This is the opposite of not, that we have written the above sentence, like what we had written above is not than 400 and 5000. These both are equals. these both are equal. Now let's start with if else loop. So basic syntax, what is the syntax? Like if something conditions or some condition, if this condition happens, then print or you can tell some kind of execute some code, right? And some code if this do not happen, then what we will write? Elif condition. Like elif we add another condition, so some, say for other condition like this, then we have to execute some other code like this. And or else, if these both conditions are unsatisfied, then I have to place else code, then execute this code. So this is the syntax. This is basically syntax. Now let's try with an example. So let's try. So if say for I am giving a hungry equals to, so for hungry equals to, I am writing true. I'm writing hungry equals to true. So if hungry, then what I want to execute is print I want something to eat. I want something to eat. Else what I have to do is, else I want to print I'm not hungry. I am not hungry, like this. Well, so let's check what it will print. It will print is I want something to eat, because what I wrote is hungry equals to true, means it is actually hungry. Like this, what we can do is, if the condition is true, so we can write here a true. If this condition is true, means this condition always be true, because I written here if true. So let's check. I want something to eat. Now let's check about the elif loop example. So say for lock equals to, I am assigning to store like this. And what I am doing is, if lock equals to auto shop, if lock equals to, sorry, it's my mistake. If lock equals to auto shop, then what I have to print is print cars are cool. Yeah, anything. Cars are cool, like this. And now I'm writing a elif condition. So elif, what I have to write condition, if this lock equals to store, then print welcome to the store. Print welcome to the store, like this. And by default, if these both conditions are false, then else what we have to print is none of this. For print and write none of this, like this. So what will be the output is, if local, here I have assigned local as a store, so it will print this condition. So this condition will satisfy. So what it will print is welcome to the store, like see welcome to the store. So these are the basic fundamental if else loop. So hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video you will learn about for loops, and in Python for loops are different than other languages like C, C++ and Java. For example, you can iterate over every character in a string, iterate over every items in a list, iterate over every keys in a dictionary. What is iterate? So iterate is basically a repetition, like one by one element, repeating one by one element. Okay, don't worry if you don't understand the sentence. I will be explaining you with an example. 10 or 11 examples we will perform here. So let's start. Therefore, I am assigning a firstly check out what is the syntax of for loop. So for loop. So for I want an element. So what I will write is element. I'm giving a name. You can give any name. In. So for I am writing in my list. So my list like this, and print that element. Print, and that I want to print every element in this my list. So what I have to write is element. So element like this. Therefore, what is my list? Therefore, now assign my list. I am writing my list equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what it will do is it will use a for loop, like it will iterate over every element, like this is first element, then this is second element, then this is third element, and it will finally print 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. See, first we delete, let's check. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Like this. Okay, so this is basically a for loop in Python. Now let's check further. Therefore, I am writing any name, any string, like I am writing a string which is equal to string and string like this. Therefore, what it will happen? Let's check. See, it will print each and every character S, T, R, I, and G this way. Now you can hold up conditions inside a for loop. Like say for I am writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for I want to print which is divisible by 2. So what I have to write is if this element is divisible by 2. So divisible by 2 means element modulo 2 equals to 0, means it is divisible by 2. Then what I have to print is that element. So print, and I will print that element like this. So it will print only with the elements which are divisible by 2. Now therefore I want to print the elements which are not divisible by 2, sorry. Then what I have to write is just not equals to, and it will print something error happen. So for delete it and rerun it. See, it is not these elements that are printed is not divisible by 2 anymore. Now let's check about tuples. Okay, tuples. Therefore I am writing 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are the tuples. Let's get rid of these if conditions. Now what it will print? It will print the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. It will print 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, yeah. Now therefore I am holding a list of tuples like this, and inside that I'm writing a tuple 1 comma 2, then another tuple like 3 comma 4, then another tuple 5 comma 6. Now what I have to do? Now, so what you have to do is you have to write here element 1 and element 2. You can write here any names you want to represent. So for I'm printing a element, so what it will print? It will print this 1, then 3 and 5. It will print every first element of the tuples. Let's check. See 1, 3 and 5. Therefore I want to print both. Then what I have to write is simply print and element 2. So element 2. What it will do is it will print first 1, then here it comes, then 2, then again it will print 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Like this, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now you can check with the dictionaries. So for I'm writing a key 1. So for key 1 which is equals to 1. Like this I'm writing a key 2 which is equals to 2. Like this key 3 which is equals to 3. So if I have to print every element, so for I want to print each and every values, then what you have to write is there's a special method, as I have discussed earlier, is my list dot. You have to write a values like this, and what it will print is it will print the each and every value, like see 1 2 and 3. Therefore if you have to print the keys, then what you have to write is keys like this. It will print each and every keys, which is key 1, key 2 and key 3. Let's see, key 1, key 2 and key 3. So for I am writing here, there's another method called items, as I had not discussed earlier because I forgot earlier to discuss the items method. So what it will print is tuples type. See, tuples, key 1 comma 1, key 2 comma 2, key 3 comma 3. Now if you want to unpack this tuple, then what you have to write is, so for I am giving a name x comma y. So what it will do is, this is my basically x and this is my y. This is my x, this is my y, this way. So what I am printing is x. So what it will print is it will print a keys, every keys like this, key 1, key 2, key 3. And what if I have to print a value as well? So what I have to write is print, and then I have to pass a y like this. Now it will print key 1 1, key 2 2, key 3 3. This is our for loop, and here's the end of the for loop. Hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video you will learn about while loops, but firstly let's discuss about the important example of a for loop. So firstly I am assigning my list, which is equal to, I am writing 1 to 10, like this, 1 to 9, yeah, 1 to 9. So now I'm assigning, say for let's talk for loop. So for element in, therefore I'm giving a different name. Yeah, it will make. For now in my list, so for my list I want to perform a addition. So for what I have to perform is addition. So basically I'm list and sum. I'm assigning this variable. So I am firstly assigning it to 0. List sum equals to 0 like this. So what I have to do is if list sum equals to list sum plus this number. So what it will do is as first element, say for 1 it goes on 1, so 1 plus 0 it will assign it to 1. So for second element it will go to 2, as the existing element of list sum is equals to 1, so 1 plus 2 it will be 3. So for you want to see, then print the list sum. So for list sum like this. So let's check it out. Yeah, see 1, then what it will happen, 1, then another position 1 plus 2, then third position 1 plus 2 plus 3, then fourth position 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, like this. It will happen like this. Okay, this was the example of the for loop that I want to discuss. Now let's discuss a while loop. Okay, so basically what is the syntax of while loop? So while and if some boolean conditions are for while true, some say for boolean and condition then code. So what it will do is while till this boolean condition is not satisfied, it will keep on rolling out. It will form a loop. Okay, so let's start. So for I am starting from, yeah, I'm firstly assigning x equals to 0, then I'm writing while how much time I want to keep the loop going. So what I have to write is, say for I want to run the loop 5 times or 4 times, then I'm writing x till x is not equals to 5, keep on running. So what I have to print is print x and print x like this, and as every loop I am extending it by 1. So x equals to x plus 1. So each time it runs, it will keep on adding 1 by 1. So for firstly it will print 0, then as one loop is over, it will extend by 1. So 0 plus 1 equals to 1, and it will print 1. Like this it will keep on printing till 4, as it will equals to 5, and then it will break. So for like this 0 1 2 3 4, and after 4 it will not print anything. Therefore I am writing a condition. Therefore if x equals to 4, so for x equals to 3, yeah, x equals to 3, then therefore if x equals to 3, then I want to break that loop, break the loop. So what it will do is firstly starting with 0, it will print 0, then 1, then 2, and as it will be 3, then it will print 3, and then it will go in the if loop and it will break the condition. So that's the end of the loop, and it will not work further after that because we had cracked the loop. So let's see 0 1 2 and 3. Now if I write here a continue, say for continue, then what it will do is as x equals to 3, it will not extend, because this behind this continue it will not work, this code will not work, and it will start from the start position. So for I am starting with 0, then it will 1, then 2. As the 3 happens, it will not go here, it will not go down. What it will go is, it will from here it will go up like this. What it will print, see, let's see, it's an infinite loop. Why? Because as x equals to 3, then it will continue. So what happens is, as 1, 2 and 3, as the 3 happens, it will continue, so it will go back, so it will not extend, so it will not extend by 1. So and it will keep on running till x is not equals to 5, which is not possible because we had continued here. As x equals to 3, we had continued. So basically what is continued goes to the top of the closest and closing loop. As we had written continue, then what it will happen, it will go to the top of the closest and closing loop. And if I write a pass, then it is nothing, it does nothing. And if you write break, then breaks out the current closest and closing loop.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video, you will learn about some special examples of for loop and lists, like range, enumerators, zipping, max, min, shuffling, inputting strings. Okay, let's start with the first example. So I'm running a for loop for letter in, so for my string like this, and if that particular letter is equals to a, for a, then I want to print that letter. So for print that letter, so like this. So now what we have to do is, we have to assign something to my string. So my string equals to, say for semi, we are writing a semi. Let's see what it will print. It will print a like this. You can put any conditions in the for loop. Now there are some useful operators in the for loop, like we can write here range like this. And what I want here is, let's say for number. Okay, so say for it, I want a range of 10. So and I want to print that number, that every element. So it will start from 0. It will start from 0 till 9. So it will print the elements like this. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 until 9. So for now I want from 1 to 9. So what I have to write is 1, then 10, like this. It starts from 1 until 9. So for now I want every difference of 2, like 1, then 3, then 5, this way. So then what I have to write is 2. So it will make the difference of 2 and it will print that element. See, 1, 3, 5, 7 and then 9, like this. Okay, now let's start with the enumerators. So right here enumerator. So sorry, I don't know spelling. Enumerate. So for I'm now writing a word. Later I will assign it. Here I will write a letter. You can give any name. So for I'm giving a name as a letter, and I'm printing that letter like this. So now let's assign the word. So word equals what? So for A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D and E, like this. Now what it will print is, it will print in the form of tuples, like its index is 0, then its index is 1, then C index is 3, 4 and 5. So it will print in the form of tuples, so 0a, 1b, like this. See, it will print in the form of tuples. Now if you want to decouple it, then what you have to do is, for I'm writing here index, and this is the index, and this I'm writing a letter, so index comma letter, okay, like this. So if you want to decouple anything, like there is a tuple, there is a tuple and you have to unpack or decouple it, then what you have to write is, you have to assign a name like this. This is my integer, like index, and this is my letters. For I'm printing only a letter, then what it will print is A B C D E. See, like this, A B C D E. Now say for I am printing like print, and I'm printing index also. So what it will print is, it will print also index, like 1a. See, 1a, 0a, 1b, 2c, 3d and 4e, like this. Now let's start with let's go move to zipping. Let's move on zipping, zipping together. So basically you have to make a to list for that. Therefore I'm writing a to list for that. My list one, and I'm giving it say for 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm writing another list, so for my list and my list 2, I'm assigning it to A, then comma B, then comma C, then comma D, like this. Now what I have to write is, here I am writing a item. It will give me in the form of tuple. So here that's a special method named zip, and which list we have to zip, then my list 1 and my list 2, like this. It will zip. Okay, so get rid of this, and I'm printing here item. What it will give me is, what it will give me is, it will give me a tuple like 1a, then 2b, then 3c, like this. It will give me a tuple. As you know already, if I want to list up these tuples, like I want to list up these tuples, then what I have to write, there's a special method named list. You just have to write a list, and inside the bracket you have to pass this zip. So for list, and I am passing this as a zip, and what I am passing is my list 1 comma my list 2, like this. So it will make a list. Sorry, anything wrong happened. Zip list, should work perfect. Why it is happening? List, then zip, output should be in the list. I think it will work in the Jupyter book. In this it is not working right now. I don't know, it should work, but it will work in your Jupyter Pi. If you are working in Anaconda, then surely it will work. So for I am trying to print it. Let's check what it will print. Print. See, here it will print in the list. So what basically the difference in the Jupyter Pi and Visual Studio is, you have to write this print statement here, and whereas in Anaconda, if you are using with Jupyter Pi book, then you just have to write this list, and this it will automatically print this. So make sure If you are working in the Visual Studio, then you will have to write a print, and only it will print this list. So now let's move on to the next topic, which is max. Okay, let's get rid of this. Therefore, I'm assigning my list to, say, for 1, 2, 3, any random number. So for 10, then I'm assigning to 29, then I am assigning 1, then let's say for 27 and 30, then 100, like this. If I want to print a max number from this list, then what I will have to do is simple print a max. There is a special method named max, and you have to pass in this list, pass a list like this. It will print 100. Obviously it is the max like this. There is a min method also. Min will print the minimum number like this. It is the minimum number in the list. Therefore you have to shuffle the things, like this is my list and I have to shuffle the elements. So what you have to do is you have to import a shuffle from a random. So there is a random name library pre-built in the Python. So what you have to do is from random import. You just have to import a shuffle like this, like this. And now what you have to do, now this library enables you to work with the function, special type of function, shuffle. Now right here a shuffle. So what it will do is it will shuffle everything. It will shuffle everything, and then I'm printing my list like this. Let's see my every element in this list are now shuffled. First element was 10, here it is 27. Okay, these are the basic methods, and these are the special type of methods where you can use, you can tell like this. Now let's input it. How to take the input from the user. So you have basically there's a function named input. So input and write. Therefore I am writing enter any number like this, enter any number and then colon. Okay, so for I am assigning this to any variable like x equals to this, and I'm printing that variable. So print, and I'm printing x like this. Therefore right now, see, it is asking me enter any number. Therefore I'm writing 240. Sorry, not here. I have to write here. I'm writing any number 2662. So what it will do is, let's press enter. It will print that number. Okay, so guys, here's our lecture is over, and see you in the next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video you will learn about the function. Then we will solve one problem named pigletting problem. Okay, so what are functions? What can function allows us to do? What's the role of the function? These are the questions arrived in the beginner's mind. Okay, so let's start with what is a function. A function is like a wrap of code. Once we have defined in it, then we will use that function by their name just by calling it. Okay, so why we use function? Okay, function allows us to create a block of code that can be easily executed many times without needing it constantly rewrite the entire block of code. what's the syntax of the, let's see the syntax of the function. Okay, so def and then name of the function, like I'm writing name of function like this, and parentheses like this. This is the name of the function, and I'm printing hello like this, and later on I am calling it. So name of function, and I'm calling it, say it is called. So where are function used? So firstly what we have to write, we will do is forward this. We will define as like this. We will write a bunch of codes inside the function. Then whenever we need in any program, when we need that function, when we need that code to write, we will not write the whole code. You will instead of writing that all code, what you have to do, you have just to call that function which has the pre-written code inside that function. Okay, so let's start with a simple example. I am giving a name, say for def, then add function like this, and I'm writing beside a num1 comma num2 like this. Yeah, what are these? Num1 and num2, these are the parameters. As we can as at the time of calling, you can pass these parameters. If you will not pass the parameter, then it will give error. Okay, so I want to return, say for what does the return do? Typically we use the return keyword to send back the result of the function instead of just printing it out. Return allows us to assign the output of the function to a new variable. What it will return, like a num1, and so for I am adding this, so num2. Now what I have to pass a parameter at the time of calling. So add function, and I'm passing the parameter, two parameters, so 1 and 2 like this. So what it will do is 1 assign it to num1, and 2 it will assign it to num2, and what it will return back is num1 plus num2. So as we return something, we have to store in some variable, right? As we are returning what? Num1 plus num2. So as we have returned something, so we have to store it anywhere. So therefore I'm storing here an add variable like this. So what it will do is, as it will return the num1 plus num2, it will store it in this add variable. Okay, later on we were printing that add variable like this, add, say 1 plus 2, which is equals to 3. Okay, let's go on other example. So for def, and I'm writing the function name is dog check. Yeah, dog then check, and I'm passing here simply my string like this. I had created any variable. Okay, so if dog, what I have to do is I'm writing my string stuff down first. Yeah, what I will do is I will firstly write some strings. So dog check, therefore I'm writing a sentence, my dog is very loyal, whereas every dogs are loyal, man, but what? Okay, so let's check it. So what I'm doing is I'm passing this as a string, which is, we will assign it as my string. So it will, this sentence will store in my string, and later on I will print it. So okay, therefore I'm writing a condition. Yeah, I'm writing a if condition. So if the dog means if the word dog is contained, if the word dog contains in my sentence, what means this dog word, if it contains into this sentence, then only I have to print it true, then only I have to return something. Okay, so if a dog, if there is a dog like this, dog, dog in this sentence. In which sentence? In my string, as we have assigned it, so we can write it. What we have to print? Oh, sorry. Like this, yeah. We have to return as true. So return then true. What we have to return is true. Yeah, true. And else what we have to do is else we have to return as false. Return false like this. And we have to assign this as we are returning this true, and we will assign it something like say for x I'm doing and I'm printing later on. So print and then x like this. Well, let's check what will be the output. Say true. Why? Because the dog contains in my sentence. So if I erase this dog word, then what it will print is it will print a false like this. Okay, now let's build a pigletting game. Yeah, what is pigletting game? Basically, if the word starts with a vowel, then add ay to the end. Like if the word starts with a vowel like apple, okay, then what I have to write is I have to write this apple as a apple and then add ay at last like this. And if the word does not contains the vowel at the first position, like say for word, then what I have to do is I have to basically shift this w first letter to the last and add ay, like ord then w and then ay like this. Okay, so let's print. Well, let's create one function. So for def, then I'm writing as a pigletting like this, and I'm passing as a word argument. Yeah. Okay. So basically, I want to check for a first. Let's firstly call the function so that we can get better idea of what we are doing. So pig, what type of word we are passing. Let's say for pig, then Latin like this, and say for we are passing a apple. Yeah, apple like this. Okay. Now what we will do is I want to say for compare the first letter. So what I have to do is I will assign this first letter of this word to anything. So say for first letter, let's create a variable first, then letter like this. As I have assigned this name to this word as I had passed, so it is basically assigned it to this word variable. So what I have to write is word letter equals to word, and then I want a first position, therefore a 0 like this. Okay, now let's check the condition if it is if the first is vowel or not. So what we will do is if I have to check the condition. So if first letter in A-E-I-O-U, like A-E-I-O-U. So if the first letter contains the letter in from this string like A-E-I-O-U, then I have to perform some task. What type of task? Then let's assign pigletting, which is equals to word plus, I am basically concatenating the two strings, so word plus ky like this. Okay, what it will do is it will, if the first letter is from A-E-I-O-U, then I am simply adding the ay at the last. Okay, else what I have to do is else like this. What I have to do is I am assigning pigletting equals to, say for word like this. I am starting from 1. What it will do is it will slice out, like it will remove the first character and it will print from the second character to the last position. So what I have to concatenate is, then I have to add a first position. So what I have to write is word, and then here a first position, then I have to add at last is ay. So like this ay. Okay. And finally, after this everything, I want to return that pigletting. So return that pigletting that I have stored everything. So let's assign it to something called x, and I'm printing it later on. Print and then x like this. Okay, so let's check what it will print. What do you think what it will print? It will print a double p l e and then it will add ay. Let's check. See, so for if we are passing a word like this word, then let's check. See, the first letter we shifted to the last position, and then it will at last position, after the last position it will add ay like this. Okay, hope you will understand the functions and this game. So hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video you will learn about some special syntax of for loop. So let's start from the basic syntax of for loop. Now in this example we will going to append in an empty list. So therefore let's assign my string equals to hello like this, hello, and let's assign to my list as an empty list like this. Now what I have to do is using a for loop I will be appending letter by letter in this. So for letter in my string, where is my string? Yeah, my string like this I want to append. So what I have to write is my list dot append that every letter like this. And finally I'm going to print it. So print, I'm going to print that list. And so my list, what it will print is it will print that list. See, it every element l as e double l and o like this. Okay, now let's move to a special syntax. Now how is special syntax? You can simply, as you are writing here, dot append method, but whereas you can directly write that element in the square braces like this. So for my list, I'm assigning this my list to say for letter. Yeah, letter. What this is the syntax. So for letter like this. In, so for my string, I will be assigning it now my string. Let's assign the my string first. So what is my string? Like my string, what is it equals to? Say for hello like this. What it will do is it will print letter by letter, H, then E, then L, and O. It will append it into the my list. Let's check by printing it. So by printing it my list like this, what it will print the same like this, H-double-L-O. This is the special method. Now let's check it out if you can use if conditions or not. Okay, let's check it out. So my list, I'm assigning my list what, then in square braces for x in. So I'm using, I want element of every range from 0 to 11. So what I have to write is range like this, from 0 to 11 like this. Okay, so what I have to do is I want to append every element that is only divisible by 2, which is in the range of 0 to 11. So what I have to write is I have to write if condition, like if x modulo 2, like if x modulo 2 which is equals to 0, then only I have to append. So let's check by printing my list. So print then my list, like this, my list. Okay, so what it will print, let's check. See, 0 2 4 6 8 10, it will print every elements that are divisible by 2 from the range 0 to 11. Now let's see by converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, the Celsius list to Fahrenheit list. Like I'm assigning something Celsius list, like Celsius equals to, say for list is 0, 10, 20, 34.5, like this. So for I want to convert this list into the Fahrenheit. So what I have to write is Fahrenheit. I think this is the right Fahrenheit, yeah, something like this. So what I have to do is like list, what I have to write. So for x in which, in this Celsius, so Celsius, like this. Okay, what it will print, it will print every element from the Celsius. Let's check printing it. So print Celsius, like print, sorry, Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, yeah. Let's check. Sorry, anything Fahrenheit is not declared. Let's Control C and Control V. Like now, let's check it. See, 0, 10, 20, 34.5. It's still in Celsius. So what if we want to convert it into the Fahrenheit? Then we have to apply some operations. What is the formula of converting Fahrenheit, for converting Celsius to Fahrenheit? This is the formula. So 9 divided by 5 into temperature plus 32. This is the formula. Well, let's, for convenient, I'm writing a name temp here, like this temp. This temp is basically these elements, this every element of the Celsius. So if I have to process something, then what I have to write is I have to process in here. So therefore I want to process is 9 divided by 5, like this, and I want to into it to temp, and then I have to add plus 32, like this. What it will return? It will return in the Fahrenheit list. See, 32.0, 50.0, 68.0 and 94.1. It will print like this. Now let's check further. What is the further? What we will be doing further? Okay, so if you want to convert into list, then simply write list and then write, say for I want a range of 0 to 11 to be append in the list, to form the list, like you can tell. So range from 0 to 11, like this. So what I should print it so you guys can see it. What's the result? Like this. So 0 to 10, it will print, it will form the list, it will form list automatically. Now there's there's one more example. So for I'm making an empty list. So for my list, which is an empty list, like this, and what I have to do is for x in. So for what we had wrote here firstly was my string, like this, my string which is equals to hello, right? Then instead of writing this, we can also write here like this, Control C and Control V, and get rid of this, and like this. Okay, so for I have to append every element in it. Sorry, I have to pass here a list. So yeah, like this. I have to pass a list. Yeah. Now what it will do is it will print every element of this list. So let's check, and I want to append each and every element from this list to my list. So what I'm going to do is, let's x dot, sorry, my list dot append. I want to append every element. So for x is my every element. So what it will print is, sorry, something went wrong. Appending, I'm appending, oh yeah, I forgot to print it. So let's print, oh, so let's print my list like this. Let's see, hello. So for I want to run a 2 for loops, so I'll get rid of this and I want to store it in the my list. So for I want to basically, what I have to add is, yeah, I want to add a multiplication of the two terms, like see 2 3 and 4 and here I'm writing another loop. So for I'm assigning it to, as I'm writing as a name y, as I'm writing the name of each element of this list as this, like 1 comma 2 comma 3, like this. So for that, yeah, what I have to do is I have to multiply this first term with this first term as a list. So what I have to do is I have to assign here, I have to pass here like x multiplied by y, x multiplied by y, like this. What it will print is, it will print 2 into 1 2, then 3 into 2 6, then 3 into 4 12. See, 2 4 2 4 6 3 6 9 4 8 and 12. What it will print, 2 into 1, then 2 into 2, then 2 into 3. Then what it will do, it will multiply the second position with the first position of y, then second position of y, and then third position of y. Like this it will print every, so 2 4 6 3 6 9 and 4 8 12, like this it will print like this. So here's our special syntax of for loop and something amazing examples we have learned. So hope we will see you next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video we will discuss two problems, not three, sorry, yeah, two problems, skyline problem and summer 69. Okay, what is skyline problem? Like suppose I'm writing a string like my name is Sneh, right? Yeah. So if the number of index is 0, means which is divisible by 2, if the number index is divisible by 2, then I have to convert that particular element into the lowercase. And whereas if it is divisible by, and it is not divisible by 2, then I have to convert it into the uppercase. Okay, let's we will be doing it with the use of functions and for loop. Okay, so let's create a function first. So write a def, then I'm writing a my func, like this, my func, and I'm passing here a string like this. Okay, let's, for proper understanding, we firstly pass the element, so we have some idea that what type of elements we are going to pass. Okay, so what we have to write is my func, then I'm passing some elements. Therefore I'm passing my name is Sneh, like this. Okay, I'm passing this element. Now let's create a my list, empty list, in which we are going to append. So for if it's lowercase, then we are appending one by one element into this list, like m, then y, then space, then n, like this. Okay, let's use for loop for I in range. What range? Then we want to use a for loop throughout the sentence. So what we have to write here is, what we have to pass is the length. So that's a useful method named length, and then we are passing this string like this name, what we are passing. So what it will do is, it will calculate every range starts from 0 to the length of the string. Means it will start from the 0 and start on looping till the last element. Okay, so let's start. What we have to do is, if now it's the time for a condition. So what we have to do is, if I'm divisible by 2, so for this element, what is this element? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till the length of that string. So this is I named this I. So what I have to do is, if that I is divisible by 2, means if that elements index, what is element index? This so for I'm writing element index m, which is here in this sentence, m is equals to 0, then y is equals to 1, then this white space will be equal to 2, like this. So if I is divisible by 2, so means my elements index is divisible by 2, so for I modulo 2 equals to 0, like this. Then what I have to do is, I have to append something. So my list dot append means I want to add in that list. Okay, in that list, so for what I want to add is that particular number, not number, that particular letter. Like what type of letter? So string, what we have passed is string, right? So string, string, and here I, like this, I dot lower, because we have, if it is divisible by 2, if this index is divisible by 2, then what I have to do is, I have to simply append that element into this list in the lower case, and else I have to append that element into the upper case. Therefore, what type of logic we have to write is, my list dot append, and instead of lower we have to write the upper, like this, upper. Yeah, upper. Let's check it now. Oh sorry, we have to return here, so yeah, we have to return it. So what we are going to return, we are going to return a list. So return my list, and later on I'm storing that return list into the X, and I'm printing that X, print, and I'm printing that X. Let's check. See, oh, here everything is Y. What happened? Something went wrong. Oh sorry, here not 1, I have to write I instead. I, like this. Now let's check. See, M, then Y. M is on the first position, therefore its index is 0, right? First position, it is, what is index? Index is position minus 1. So M has a 0, which is divisible by 2, therefore it will append in this list in the form of lowercase, like this. Okay, so let's drive it up into the next problem, which is named Summer 69 game. What is this game? So as we have, suppose we have entered some list like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, then 9, and then say for any number like this. So what I have to do is, I have to start from the first element, 1, 2, I have to start adding from the first element 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. and as 6 came, so I have to stop adding. As a 6 came and as the 9 comes, then I have to start adding. What? So from the entered list, like this, see, from the entered list you have to add all the elements except that elements which are between 6 and 9. Means I have to add the elements except 6 and 9. Means the elements that are containing between the 6 and 9, I don't want that elements to be added. I want that elements to be added which are not present in between the 6 and 9. Okay, so if you don't understand this question, then don't worry, we will dive this example, explain this example, and at the time of explanation you may get the idea what we are doing. Okay, so let's start. Let's create a function like def, and as the game is summer 69, like this, so I'm passing a list inside. What is my, so for my list, like this, and firstly we are, what type of list we are going to pass, firstly declare that, so some idea happens that what we are going to do, like summer 69, and what type of list I'm passing is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 97, 9, 7, yeah, 9, 7, like this. So what it will do is it will add 4 and 5 and it will stop adding from 6. So these elements it will not add, and then it will add directly 7. So answer should be what? So 4 plus 5 plus 7, like this, 16. So okay, so let's start. So firstly what we are going to do is we are using a for loop because we want to count every element from that list. Okay, so what we have to do is for num in arr, sorry, my list, like this. Okay, my list. Now what I have to do is I have to keep on adding till it comes to the 6. So what I have to do is inside the for loop I have to write a while loop. So while, and therefore while add, like this. When to add? When add is equals to true. When add is equals to true. So we have to assign it as a true. Okay, inside the while add what we have to write is if condition, like if my num is not equals to, if my num is not equals to 6, like this. Oh yeah, num is not equals to 6, like this. Then what I have to do is just add them. So total, let's assign the total as a 0 first. So total will be assigned as a 0, like this. And starting the total, what we have to do is total plus equals to. What this means? So firstly we are total plus equals to num, like this. What this means? Instead of this you can also write, if you don't understand this, you can also write a total equals to total plus num, like this, but I prefer to write like this. Okay, and break, no, I don't want to break it. So else what I have to do, if as the number 6 arrives, like in the count, if the number 6 comes in between, then I have to write else condition, which is add equals to false. Therefore what it will do is it will terminate this from this loop and start on the different while loop, like therefore I'm assigning while not add. So what it will do is it will start on adding every element as the 6 arrives. What it will do, it will go in this else condition, and else condition it will be assigned as add is equals to false, like this. Add is equals to false. So where add is equals to false in this while loop condition, so it will start this condition. While not add means while false, then I have to do this type of stuff. Okay, so if it, I have not to add till the now 9 number arrives. So what type of condition we have to write? We have to write is num is not equals to 9, not equals to 9, like this. Then we have to break it. So we have to break it. Now as the 9 number arrives, so we have to reassign it as add equals to true. Add equals to true, like this. Yeah, something is okay, perfect. Add equals to true, and finally I'm breaking here, so break, and I'm finally returning the total. So what is my total? Oh, it should be in the one gap, it should be in the def function. Okay, like this, tab. Okay, it's perfect. Now what I have to do is return that. So return, and what I have to return is that total. What is the total? Okay, I am storing it into the X like this, and I am finally printing it. So print and then X. Okay, let's check it whether it's working or not. Say it will give 16. Why? It will add 4 and 5, which will be equals to 9, and then 7, which will be equals to 9 plus 4 plus 5, which is equals to 16. And it will not add between 6 and 9 elements, including 6 and 9. So here we had solved 2 problems. Hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
Okay, in this video we are going to learn map function, filter function and lambda function. So let's start with a map function. Okay, so I will be explaining this by example. So write def, and I'm giving a name as a splicer like this, and I'm passing one string inside it. So my, and then string like this. Okay, what I have to do is if my string's length is divisible by 2, then I have to print, I have to return even. And if it is not divisible by 2, then I am simply returning first digit. Okay, first character, sorry. Yeah, if, then what I have to write is if length like this, and I am passing inside my string like this, and if it is modulo 2, like it is equals to 0, then what I have to do is just return even. So what I am returning is even, like this. Okay, now so for else condition, what I have to write in else condition, else, and I'm returning the first character, therefore add my string, I'm returning a first character, therefore 0. Okay, now let's pass any list inside it. How can you pass list? Then if you want to pass a list, then you will have to use a map function. So for I'm creating a list of names which is equals to, so for my name is Snare, then comma, I'm returning ND, and I'm third name I'm returning EU, like this, EU. Okay, so now what I have to do is using a map function, I will be passing this wall list, and I'm storing in some list. So in storing in, I want to print it in the form of list, then that's a special method named as list, inside which I have to pass a map function. Therefore, so how can I write the syntax of map? just by writing a map, and then inside it will hold two arguments, which one is the function name, so write a splicer, and comma, first is the list name, second is list name, so write a names. I want to print this in the form of list, so what I have to do is let's write a print like this. Okay, let's see. Oh sorry, something happened, my string or length, oh sorry, yeah, I have to write here instead of where, because then only I have to convert, it will convert into the list, which is equals to 0. I think it's perfect. Print that what, not all arguments converted during the string. Okay, my string modulo 2 is equals to 0, and oh sorry, yeah, I have to convert it first, then only I can divide it by 2. Okay, that's my mistake, sorry. So I had returned something list, I printed that list, right? Now let's go move up into the filter function. Okay, so let's create a one function that checks whether it is divisible by 2 or not. Okay, so let's check it by writing def, then therefore I'm giving a name as check number. No, I'm writing a name as check even. Yeah, it's better name, right? So I'm passing as argument num, and what I have to do is I have to return num modulo 2. So num modulo 2, which is equals to 0. Okay, now what I have to do is write off, I want a list of function, right? I want to pass here a number, I have to pass a list inside this number. So what I have to do is I'm writing my list. Therefore I'm writing a list which is equals to my list like this, and I'm passing here 1 to 6. So 1 comma 2. Okay, now just write I want in the form of list, therefore I have to wrap it into the list, and then simple map. Then what I have to do is simple, it holds two arguments, which is first a function name, so check even, and oh sorry, I have to write inside the bracket, yeah, and comma, I'm passing my list, so my list like this, and I have to print this whole list. So what I have to do is print like this. Okay, now let's check. It will print in the form of false, true, true, false, means whether it is divisible by 2 or not, means it will return the boolean statement. But if we use a filter function, let's check what will happen, something miracle. Okay, if I use a filter function, then I will return values that are divisible by 2 instead of boolean values. Okay, so this is the miracle of filter function. Now let's go on to the lambda function. So I will explain this lambda function using the example. So let's create one list. So for my num list, I'm creating my num list which holds 1 to 6 numbers, 1 2 3 4, like this. And what I have to write is simple, I have to map it up, and inside that I will be using a lambda function. So what I'm doing is map, and as you already know in the above examples, what we are going to pass first as a first argument, what we pass, the function name, right? So I have to pass here of lambda function, so I'll just write lambda. It's a syntax is first lambda, then what you have to write, then which type of arguments you are passing, like I'm passing as a num, and what type of return, what type of values you are returning. So I'm returning, say for num square, right? So or num and square, like this. I'm returning this type of function, right? I don't have to return here because it's by default inside a lambda function that after the colon it will return num square, as we wrote. If here I wrote 3, then it will return cube. So let's, for now I'm writing the square. So I'm passing the my list here. So my list means my num, okay, and I'm printing it in the form of list. So what I have to do is just write a list, because I have to print in the form of list, and just write a print. Therefore it enables us to print something. Okay, so let's check whether it's working. See, it will return the square. So it's the main use of lambda function. Hope you had learned about the map function, filter function, and lambda function, and don't forget to share it. Okay, hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I give you my heart.
In this video, you are going to learn about the scope of a variable. Okay, yeah, there's a eligible rule one, but I don't want you to mug up that rule. Instead, we will be learning it by practical examples. Okay, so let's start with the first example. Say for I'm assigning something as a global variable. So how can we assign as a global variable? By returning out of every functions and everything. Okay, so what I have to write is just assign a variable. So for I'm writing name as a string, like this is a global variable. So this is global. Oh, sorry, global variable like this. Okay, now we are assigning some functions. So for definition, def, and then I'm writing a greet like this, and inside of function I'm writing something like reassigning a name, like name equals to Sammy, and I'm basically after this will be concatenating this. So let's create inside a greet function or another function, so for def, and then hello function. Yeah, hello function like this. Okay, and what we are going to do is inside this function I will be concatenating strings like hello, and then plus my name, means hello, and printing this name. Okay, so I'm calling this function afterwards. Let's call like a hello, and I'm calling a function afterwards a greet function. So greet function, like greet function. Yeah, okay, so what it will do is, let's firstly run it. Yeah, hello Sammy. Why it will print firstly a hello Sammy? Why? Because as what it will do, it is a global scope, right? So if I had reassigned a name, means it is the scope, like I had reassigned the name variable, and it has the scope inside this function. If you will be printing outside this function anywhere, like you are concatenating outside this function greet, then what it will print is, like I am concatenating is hello plus the name. So it's outside the function, what it will print hello, and this is global variable. But inside function, as I had reassigned it, what it will print is hello, then it will print a Sammy, because it has a scope inside this function. Therefore I am removing this. So what it will do is, it will automatically print this name, because it is a globally variable, and as we have not redefined it, so what it will print is, see, hello, this is a global variable, right? Okay, now let's check another example. Let's check another example. Therefore I'm assigning something like x equals to 50. Yeah, so I'm assigning as a global variable like x equals to 50, and what I'm doing next is I'm assigning a function. I'm making a function name of like a func. Okay, inside passing x variable, Now what we are going to do is printing. So print like f and then x is inside a curly braces. I'm branching a x. Okay, it's perfect. Now I'm doing a local reassignment. Local. So right, I will comment it out so you can read it. Reassignment like this. Oh sorry, add reassignment. Yeah, reassignment. Okay, so what I have to do is justly I'm reassigning it like x equals to 20. Therefore I'm reassigning it x equals to 200. Yeah, therefore I'm assigning it. Yeah. Okay, now printing, I'm printing what? I'm printing same x is like I'm printing that. Control C. Oh sorry. Now what it will happen is, as I had defined it as a global scope, so firstly it will start from here. So what it will happen is, firstly write a function. I'm calling a function like func, and then I'm passing the x like this. Okay, as I defined earlier. So what it will do is, firstly it will call, right, it will call the function. Yeah, so it will go here, then it will print the function. It will check that whether my above anything redefined or not, as I had not redefined here. Here if I had redefined it or not, I had not redefined it. So by default what it will take this value, means I had globally declared it will take by default this value. Now as a local reassignment it goes further and see I had reassigned this x equals to 200. So what it will happen is, as I am printing it, it will check whether above any reassignment happens or not. See, I had reassigned it. So what it will print? It will print here 200 instead of 50. So it has a scope below these functions, because as you know, after the assignment you can reassign something like I had reassigned this x equals to 50 by x equals to 200, then I'm able to print. So the scope of this x will be this much inside the def function, not above this, not above here. Okay, so let's print it. What it will print, let's check. X will be 50, which is global variable. As I told, it will print the by default value global variable, because I had not reassigned it here. And on going further, I had reassigned it x value, therefore it will print 200, which has a local scope like this much. Okay, now let's check if some further examples are there or not. In therefore I'm writing, yeah, I'm same function, I will be working in same function. So for writing a global, so for global, and I'm writing here x like x, global x. It's giving an error, right? Let's get rid of this. Yeah. So what I will be doing, I'm declaring inside a global function. Okay, so tab, yeah. Okay, I'm printing this. So what I'm printing it as f, oh sorry, print, what the hell man, print, then I'm printing f x is like this and simply x. What I've done is, inside the function I had declared a global x variable. Therefore what I'm doing next is x will be equals to 200, like I'm reassigning it, x will equals to 200 like this, and I'm printing it. So I'm printing it, therefore I'm printing the same value as before. Control C like this. Okay, so I am now calling this function. Let's see what happens. So function like this. What do you think what it will print? Now let's check. Say x is 50 and x is 200. By default it will be assigned as globally. So therefore I reassigned it here 50. What it will happen? It will give an error because we can't redefine like this. So instead of this, what I have to do is I have to redefine it outside, like x equals to 50. Don't do that error. Okay, so I have to define it outside, and then what I have to do is I can use that variable and define as a global. Okay, what it will print? It will print a starting. It will check further. There is not any reassignment. So what it will print is it will print my by default global variable. And now let's go further from here. It can add reassigned it. Okay, so after going down, print will check whether the reassignment happens or not. So as I have reassigned it x equals to 200, so what it will print? It will print x will be equals to 200. Okay, so this is the basic example of a scope. With this tricks you can determine any scope of the variables, how much scope it contains. Okay, hope we will see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
Let's discuss some advanced examples related to concept that we have learned till now. Okay, so what is the first example we will be discussing right now is calculate number of lowercase and uppercase, and also you have to use a concept of dictionary in it. Okay, so what I want to say is just form a dictionary, and inside which you have to let's see by examples. You will not understand like this. So what I have to do is firstly create a function, like I am giving a name is upload like this, and I am passing one string inside it. Okay, so what I am to do is just now I am assigning one dictionary. I am creating one dictionary which is for d, which is equals to like this, and let me create a key which will be like this upper, and as a value of upper, by default I am assigning it as 0 because I have to start from a 0, because I have to start from a 0 and start on calculating as my uppercase number is appearing in that particular string that I am going to pass. Okay, so what I have to do is just write a lower like this and just 0. Okay, now what to do, like for better understanding, let me pass first one string. Okay, so up like this, up and low. Inside I am passing a string, so my name is Sneh. Okay, so what I have to do is just I have to extend it by 1 as this uppercase appears. Okay, what I want to say is as these uppercases are appearing in my whole string, then I have to reassign it by 1, means okay. So what I have to do is by using a for loop, let's let's iterate each and every element. So what I have to write is for e in this particular string. So what I have to write is here is a string, means as, and if I have to write a if condition. If this element, means what e represent to each element. Okay, so if e dot, there's a special method. If it is a lower or it is a upper, to check whether it is lower or it is upper, there is a special method dot is upper, like upper, oh sorry, triple p upper and simple like this. It will check whether it's a lower. If it is a lower, then I have to extend it by 1. Means what I have to do is just like this, and upper which will be plus equals to 1. I am just extending by 1 as the upper alphabet is occurred. Okay, I'm writing a elif condition next, inside which I'm writing a if e dot is lower, like is lower, then I have to extend lower by 1, so lower and plus equals to 1, like this. Perfect. Now what if something like white space occurs? Then I have to simple pass, means what I have to write is a simple else condition and simple pass, like this. Okay, so let's print everything. What I have to print is just I have to print these dictionaries, means I have to print a string, then how many uppercase letters are there and how many lowercase letters are there. Okay, so let's print it. So what I have to write is print and my original string, for what original string like this, and so for original string is my as, and what I have to do is I have to print is a uppercase letter, so uppercase like upper, and I'm writing here a D, inside which I'm writing upper. Okay, perfect. And I have to print one more thing, which is lower, so let's print a lower and D, lower. Okay, so what should it return? It should return uppercase, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Uppercase should be 4. Okay, so let's print it. See, upper will be a 4 and lowercase letters means alphabets will be 8, and my original string will be my name is Snell. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's move up to next example, second example. Okay, what is the second example is, write a Python function that takes a list and returns a new list with unique elements from the first list. Okay, so what I want to say is, if I'm creating like let's explain, I will explain it by giving you an example. Okay, by solving this problem, what I have to do is what I have to write name is, let's say, for unique list. Yeah, it's more convenient. So what I have to write in unique list, what I have to pass is just a list. Okay, first, for better understanding, let's firstly pass a list. So unique list, and I have to just pass a list. So whatever list I will be passing in it is say for 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Okay, so what I have to do is just create a new list in the in this function. So I'm writing a new list and assigning as 1, 3, 4. So what it will do is I am passing this list. What it will do, if this list does not contain the element which are present in that passed list, means let me tell it L, in L list, then I have to append in this list. So for better understanding, I am writing it list 1 and I am writing in it as a list 2. Okay, so what I have to do is just using a for loop. So for loop for elements means for e in the list 2, like this, list 2. What I have to write is, there's a if condition. I have to write a if condition. Say for if this particular e is, means this particular e if not in my list 1, means list 1, means what it will tell is, if this particular element, means each element, it will check each element if whether this element is contained in my list 1 or not. Okay, so then if it is not present, then I have to append it. So what I have to write just is list 1 dot append, like this. Okay, and what I have to what type of I want to append is, I want to append that particular element, so E. Okay, perfect. And finally I'm going to return this wall list one, so I'm returning a list one, and let's assign it to some variable like x, and later on we are going to print it, so for print and then x. Okay, perfect. Let's check it. See, it will be printing the same list as this. What it will do is suppose 1, 3 and 4, right? 1, 3 and 4, and it will append that elements which are not present in my list. Okay, so hope you will like it, and see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video you will be learning that what is class and object with examples. Okay, so what is class? Class is a collection of object. Okay, so object, what is object? Object is something that has some characteristics or something like that. As for dogs, if dog is a object, then what type of characteristics it has? It has like barking and that all things. So for, let's take a live example. If I'm taking a class of 12th class, okay, so the 12th class, so for I'm representing class 12th as a class, and inside that everything inside that particular class, everything is an object, like a table, chairs, and many more things like dusters. These are the objects which has certain characteristics, like duster is used for rubbing the board and many things. Okay, so let's start with an example. As you already know the core concept of class and objects, okay, if you had learned C++. Now let's start with some examples. For I'm writing a class. What's the syntax of the class? So I'm writing the firstly a syntax of the class. So let's start with a class, then name of the class. Here there will be a name of class like this. It's a good practice to start with a capital. Okay, so if you will write this, then also it will be okay. If you will not write a parentheses, then also it will be okay. Okay, so what I have to do is, inside this particular class there's a particular method, names is init method. It is a special method. Later on we will be discussing all the special methods. Okay, so what I have to do is just to create a function, means just create a method in this class. Okay, so this is a special method. It is like a constructor. What it does is, sorry, something went wrong. Yeah, it is like a constructor. What it will be done is automatically, it is called automatically, means this method is called automatically when some object is created. Okay, so let me see by live. Like I'm passing here a self as well as two parameters. So param1 and param2, like this. I'm passing the two parameters. Now what I have to do is just assign that. So self dot param1 which is equals to param1. Okay, like this. Param2 self dot param2 which is equals to param2. Okay, perfect. Now this is the init method. Okay, what is self keyword used for? It acts like a this. It acts like a this keyword. If you had learned C++, don't worry, I will be teaching what is used for self. Like what is self keyword used for? Like say for this is an attribute, okay, and there are various methods inside it. So what does self do is, it will tell that I am the attribute or a method of this particular class, name of class. Only this purpose self keyword is used. Okay, so let's create a different method. It is a special method. You will be using init method in all the classes and all the things for assigning, like for assigning this attribute param1 and this variable. Now what this particular statement do is a self dot param1. Param1, I am the variable. It tells self. What does the self tells? Param1, I am the element, means I am the variable of this particular class, means name of a class, this class. Okay, so let's create let's create our own method. So for I'm writing a method. Sorry, I wrote the spelling wrong. Method, yeah, perfect. Okay, inside what I have to do is pass a self keyword for telling that I am the method of this particular class, and inside support I'm printing self dot parameter 1. Okay, so what you have to do is, suppose you have to use this parameter 1 in any of the method of that class, then what you have to write is you have to use a self keyword, then dot and param1, then only you can access that parameter. Okay, so let's create one object. So for I am creating my object as so for my and object which is my object which is equals to a name of a class. So name of a class, and I am passing here two parameters. So for I'm passing first is snare and second is for j. Okay, perfect, right? Okay, now what does this statement do? Okay, I created, this is the object. My object name is my obj. It is the syntax, like I have to write object name, then equals to, then what I have to write is the name of the class, and if you are passing a parameter, then write that parameter. So if you are not passing that parameters, that simply keep it empty. Okay, so let's call this method of this particular class. So what I have to write is just write my object, means the name of the object, like my obj dot that particular method. So method like this, and as I want to print, I don't have to print because it will be printing. So let's see whether it's working or not. I printed something wrong. Printing it right, so it should print my math. Oh sorry, here I have to write a print sys, then only it will call the method. See, it will print the perfect snare. Okay, so let's create another example of a class. Therefore I am creating an example like class dog. Okay, like a class, and I am writing a class dog. Perfect. You can whether add a parentheses or you can basically move it out, it's your choice. Now I'm creating here a init method. So what I have to write is just in it method like this. Just remove it out, so I don't want this, and I'm assigning like a breed self. First let's pass a parameter. So what type of parameters I want to pass is breed, and I want to pass a name like this. Okay, so I'm assigning it that I'm telling that I am the particular variable or attribute of this particular class dog. So what I have to write is self dot breed like this, breed which is equals to breed, that the passed which is equals to breed means the passed parameters. Okay, so self dot, now what is name, self dot name, which I am assigning it to a name. I have to write here f Okay, perfect. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating one method, name is bark, like this, bark, and what I'm doing is inside, oh sorry, okay, what I'm doing is just passing a self keyword, and with I'm passing a number like this number. Okay, means I'm making one type of method that also takes arguments, means sorry, parameters you can tell, or arguments also you can tell. Okay, now what I have to print is, therefore I have to print that particular what I have to print is, so what I'm printing a breed, name and number. Okay, so what I have to write is wolf, so for wolf, and then what wagon, yeah, then so for I have to print a name. So what I have to write, just name, oh sorry, something matter, just rub it, I'm printing simply a breed name. And okay, so what I have to write is breed, self dot breed, yeah sorry, self dot breed, like this, perfect, and self dot, oh sorry, I have to print self dot that particular name. Okay, perfect, right, particular name. And so for let's make a one type of function, not functions, sorry, let's make a object, yeah. So what type of object I'm making is my dog. So for my dog, which will be equals to the particular class, so for dog, and I'm passing here two types of parameters. Therefore I'm passing a breed as what type of breed I'm passing, you know any breed, so for lab, yeah lab, I don't know whether this type of breed is exists or not, so don't go for it. And what I have to write as a name, so for Frankie I'm writing a Frankie, like this. Okay, perfect. And later on I will be accessing that method by using a name of that particular object, so my dog dot bark, like this. Okay, now as we have passed this argument, what I have to write is, suppose let's proper understand, print that number also, like print then this particular number which is equals to, say for like this number. Okay, and what I have to do is, when calling this method I have to pass her argument in this, because it is taking one argument, so for it is a number, so I am passing like this. Perfect. Now let's check it. See, lab, then Frankie, and as we have passed the 2, so it will print as a 2. Okay, hope guys you like it, share it, and this is the core example of class and objects. Later we will dive it into the class and objects with the advanced mode. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe it. See you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video we will be understanding concept of inheritance. Okay, why inheritance is used? We use inheritance because of, like, what we can say is making the program simple and to reuse the code. Okay, so let us explain by one type of figure, you can tell. Okay, what I'm doing is these are the three methods like fuel amount, capacity, and apply brakes that will be present in every classes like bus, car, and truck. So instead of defining in each and every class, what we are doing is we are creating just a class of a vehicle, and inside we are defining this type of common method as a common method, and later on we will be what we are going to do is we will be inheriting this class vehicle into this class bus. Okay, let me explain by one type of example. Let us create a example of animals. Okay, so what we have to do is just for creating creating a class, you just have to write a class, and then animals, like I'm creating a class of animal. Okay, so what I have to do is define a init method. So init init method, and then inside I have to pass a self keyword. Okay, now what I have to do, just remove it, sorry. Okay, now what I have to do is I am writing I'm printing here as animal created. Okay, now what I'm doing is just creating one type of method. Say for I'm creating a method of who am I. Okay, so who am I, like this, and what I'm passing inside is a self. So what I have to do is I'm printing it. So for I'm an animal, yeah, I am an animal. Animal. Oh yeah, I'm creating another method of names for it. I'm eating. What I'm writing is self, and then let me create a method in which I'm printing I am eating. Okay, I am eating, like this. Perfect. Now what we have to do is I'm basically inheriting this animal class into the class of dog. Okay, so what I have to write is just to create a class like this, class, and then dog. Okay, perfect. And now what I'm defining is firstly defining a init method. So let's define a init method like this, init. Now let us get rid of this. But now what you have to do is just we have created an init method, and just I'm writing a print and I'm writing as a dog created. So basically what I'm doing is just I'm overriding this function. So because I want to override this function, so what I have to do is just firstly what I have to override is dog created. So okay, dog created. Okay, perfect, right? Now let us make a object. So for I'm making a object, so for my dog, which will be equals to dog, and like this. Okay, now what is this? I am creating a my dog. Okay, my dog as an object. My dog is an object, and using this my dog, you can what you can do is you can say for access anything. So for I'm creating here one more method like def, and let me create my name. So for dog name, dog name, I'm creating this type of method, and what I'm doing is just passing a self inside it. Oh sorry, oops. Okay, I'm creating the self inside it, and I'm printing I'm dog. Printing I like this, I am dog. Okay, perfect. Now so for I want to access this method, what you have to write is my dog dot dog name. So for dog, like dog name. Okay, that's this method. So I have to write this parentheses. See, what it does is it automatically is like a constructor, right? Init is like a constructor. It is being called as this type of object is created. So what it will print is it will print a dog created as well as I'm a dog. See, so for what I have to do is instead of accessing these all methods, I want to access these methods too. So what I have to do is just I have to inherit the animals class into this dog. So what I have to write is just write inside it as an animal, like this animal. Okay, you had successfully inherited. Now how did you know that I had inherited? Okay, so what I have done is here I have created a object of a dog, right? My dog. It is not of the object of this particular animal. So what I have to do is by using this object I will be accessing these values. So what I have to write is my dog. So for my dog dot I want to access this who am I method. So what I have to write is who am I, and like this. So what it will print as a what it will print is firstly it will print a dog created, I am dog, and then it will print I am animal. Okay, see, I am animal. We have successfully inherited the particular methods from animals to the dogs. So hope you will understand this. So let's see you in next video.
Like a Hellcat.
I gave you my heart.
In this video, we will be understanding the concept of polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Polymorphism is a concept by which we can perform a single action in different ways. Let me explain by an example. So let's create two classes like a dog and cat. Okay, so what I'm doing is, class, and what I'm doing is creating a dog class, name of dog, or what happened just now, class, then dog, and I'm creating this class, and inside I'm defining a init method, and let us get rid of this. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm passing one more argument in it. So therefore I'm passing a name as argument, and what I'm doing is I'm assigning that name. So what I'm to do is self dot name like this, which is equals to my name. Okay, so I passed name. Okay, so what I have to do is now nextly I'm creating a method say for speak. I'm creating a method, and inside method I will be passing here a self keyword, and what I have to write here is say for return self dot name plus self plus what I have to do is says wolf. Okay, perfect, right? So for I'm printing it, and okay, I think it's perfect, right? Now next method I will be creating a cat class. So what I have to do is just write a cat, and so for I'm copying this here, and I am changing here as a cat, and what I have to do is it says meow, right? Basically what is polymorphism is, suppose I had a method I had same name of a method, but I can with the same name of method I can perform a different types of you can tell different types of what you can tell is you can perform a different method. Okay, so what we have to do is just create a class, not just create an object of that particular class. Therefore, I'm creating two objects, one of dog and one of cat. Okay, so what I have to write just as my dog, I'm creating as my dog as object of a dog and my cat as an object of cat. Okay, so firstly let's get delete it. Okay, so what I'm doing is firstly writing a dog and I'm passing inside a name. So what type of name I should pass here? For I'm passing a Frankie. Okay, and my cat, I'm writing cat which equals to cat and Felix. So for I'm passing here a Felix. Okay, perfect name, right? Okay, so what I have to do is just so for I'm calling this type of speak function. So what I have to do is of dog, I want to call a speak function of dog. So what I have to do is just access it by using this object. So my dog, so for my dog dot I want to speak speak and like this. And what I have to do is just first I have to print it because it is returning this type of. So what I have to write is I have to print it. So print like this, print, and so what do you think it will print? It will print the dog that I have passed, like Frankie says woof. Okay, so let's check it. See, Frankie says woof, and therefore I'm writing here cat. So what it will do is say for cat. Okay, my cat dot speak. So Felix says meow. Okay, perfect. So this is the concept of a polymorphism. Hope we will see you in the next video.
Like a Hellcat.